Let's go to page 223. Start with number 1. Okay, this one is write each number in scientific notation. If the number is an integer and n is 0, assume that zeros are not significant. Okay, so number 1, you got 7500. So to write in scientific notation, first right away you're going to write down 7.5 times 10 to a number. So that's the format. So you have to figure out what this number is. Okay. So right now the decimal is over here, so you move over 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this, right now it's 10 times 10 to the 0. Okay. So again, when there's nothing, it means 0. So you go over 3. Notice you make the number smaller by 3. So you have to make the number bigger by 3. So it becomes 3. Okay, and that's it. So again, you go over 1, 2, 3. So you move over 3 places to make it smaller. So you have to move over 3 places to make it bigger. So when you make this smaller, you have to make this bigger. Okay, and so to compensate for it. Number 3, 0.608. So making the scientific notation right away, it's going to be 6.08 times 10 to the something. Okay. So right now decimal is over here, so you need to move over 1 place to get over here. So right now the number gets bigger, so this gets smaller. So right now it's 10 to the 0, right? So again, you make the number bigger, make this number bigger. So now you have to make this smaller by 1, so it becomes -1. Okay. So again, when you make this number bigger, you have to make this number smaller. And vice versa. When you make the number smaller, right, from big to small, you have to make it small to big. And the number of magnitude would be how many places you move the decimal over. Okay, you got 10.05. Okay, so you can right away write down times 10 to the 0, so you can do the moving. So right away you're gonna have 1.005, right? So that's your standard form. Okay, so right now you move over 1 place. Okay, so and another way to do it is if you move this to this side, you have to move this to this way. They have to go opposite direction. Okay, see like this one. If you move over here, if you move this way, you have to move this way, and that's why when you go that way, it becomes negative. Okay, like this one over here, you move the decimal over this way, so you have to move this number this way, and that's why it becomes 3. Okay. Okay, so you move over 1, so you have to move over 1 this way, so it becomes 1. Okay, number 7, you got 0.0320. Okay, again, go and write down times 10 to the 0 right away when you don't have that. Okay, so right away you have to write 3.20 times 10 to the something. Okay, so right now decimal is over here, so you have to move to here, so it'd be 1, 2. So you have to move 2 this way, so you have to move this number 2 this way. Okay, so it becomes -2. Okay, again, you move 2 places over, you start at 0, you have to go 2 this way, so it becomes -2. Okay, number 9, you got 6.655. 655 times 10 to the 3. Okay, so again, right away you have to write down 6.55 times 10 to the something. Okay, right now decimal is over here, so you have to move over 1, 2. So you have to move 2 this way. That means this have to move 2 this way. Okay, so you start at 3 and you go 2 this way, you're going to end up with a 5. Okay, so again, you have to move over the same amount. So you move over 1, 2 this way, you have to move this 1, 2 this way, and so you end up with a 5. Okay. Okay, number 11. You got 0.560 times 10 to the -3. Okay, so right away you're going to write down 5.60 times 10 to the something, right? Again, this is your standard form for scientific notation. 1 digit before the decimal and everything after the decimal. Okay. So right now your decimal is over here, so you have to move 1 this way. So you have to move 1 this way. So that means you have to move the -3. You have to move 1 this way. So if you start at -3 and you move 1 this way, you're going to end up with -4. Okay. Again, you move 1 over this way, you have to move 1 over this way, and so you end up with a -4. let's go to the next one, number 13. You want to write this in the decimal form. So you got 5 times 10 to the 3. Okay, so right now you want to get rid of that. So that means you move decimal 3 places over. Okay, you want to get rid of that, so it means you have to move this 3 this way to get to the 0. So if you move 3 places this way, you have to move this 3 places this way. So you're going to get 5, 8, 0, 0, 0. Okay? So you can just matter of compensate each other, right? So again, you want to get rid of that, you have to get to the 0. Okay? And so you start at 3, right? So you have to get to the 0, so you have to move 3 this way to get to the 0. So move 3 this way, you have to move the decimal 3 this way. And so therefore you end up with 5,000. Okay, so you got 4.3 times 10 to the negative 3. So again, right now, think about decimal, right? So you got negative 3, and you want to get to the 0. So you have to go 3 this way. So that means you have to move decimal 3 this way. Okay, so it would be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it would be 0.0043. Right? So again, none of your decimal, and that's it. Okay, number 17, you got 6.75 times 10 to the 4. Okay, so this one you have to move decimal, you have to go to the 0, so you have to move 4 this way to get to the 0. Okay, so that means you have to move these 4 places over, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it'd be 6, 7, 5, 0, 0, right? This 0 over here, right? Okay, and that's it. Another way to think of it is you make this number smaller, you have to make this number bigger by the same magnitude. Okay, so make this number bigger by 4. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, number 19, we got 7.50 times 10 to the negative 3. Okay. Okay, so now you have to make this into 0. So you have to make this bigger. Okay, you have to go this way, so that means you have to make it this way by 3. So go 1, 2, 3. So your decimal would be over here. Okay. So it'd be 0. Okay, so you add 2 zeros, so 00750. Okay. Oh. Okay, number 21, you got 2 times 10 to the 3 to the square. And this one, you want to see if it's bigger or smaller. Okay, so first you have to work this part out. So go and distribute. So this becomes 4 times 10 to the 6. Okay. Well, this is a 5 power, this is a 6 power, so obviously this will have to be greater than, right? Okay, so the answer would be greater than. Again, first you compare the exponent. If they're the same, you compare the number in front. Okay, number 23, you got 0.005 to the 3 power. Okay, question mark, 2 times 10 to the negative 8. First, I'm going to make this into scientific notation. Or actually, I'm just going to multiply out. So you can use a calculator for this if you want to, okay? But or you can just use scientific notation 1, 2, 3. So this is equal to 5 times 10 to the negative 3 to the 3 power, okay? And then work it out. So you get 5 to the 3 power. You're going to get 125. Times 10 to the negative 9. Okay, then you have to make this same proper form. So it'd be 1.25 times 10 to the negative 7, right? Because right now you move 2 places over, so you have to increase by 2. Okay, so you can see that this is negative 7 power, this is negative 8 power, so this is bigger. Okay, so this would be like this. Okay.